What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party.
What's up, party people? It's Talib Kweli, the MCEO, the BKMC. Welcome to another fantastic edition of the People's Party with Talib Kweli. I got my wonderful co-host in the house, Jasmin, Leigh. Give it up for Jasmin, Leigh, party people. Jasmin, how you feeling?
Amazing.
I'm pretty amazing too.
You look amazing.
Thank you. You like these frames?
I love them.
I'm trying them out for this show.
Okay.
Today's guest is someone who I have a great deal of respect for. Someone that, of course, I met on social media once again, but we became friends in real life. This woman, I don't think we can overstate how we've grown up with this woman. Mm-hmm. She was on one of my favorite shows of all time, Community. She was on Drake and Josh, which is a show I did not see that often.
I love that show.
I'm sure you love that show. I'm just going to run down her credentials just so we know the level of resume and caliber we're dealing with. That 70s show, That's So Raven, Malcolm in the Middle, The Office, Chuck, Dreamgirls, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Family Guy, 500 Days of Summer, Tropic Thunder, The Avengers Endgame.
Wow.
And the list goes on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the wonderful, the talented Yvette Nicole Brown.
Wow. What an intro.
Good to see you.
What a woman. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I wasn't prepared for the walk-on.
Oh, you
I
know.
would have wore better jeans.
No, the jeans are just perfect. You're comfortable.
Thank you.
You're here with the People's Party.
Thank you, brother.
You're relaxed.
Yes. Breathing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's my honor and my pleasure to have you.
It is mutual.
I'm glad you're here. I want to start out by talking about the OH10,
Okay.
Ohio.
Yes.
You're born in Cleveland, Ohio.
East Cleveland, yes.
You went to University of Akron.
I did.
So you're really, really, really Ohio.
Yes, I am steeped in Ohio. Yes,
That's right.
100%.
Midwest values or Ohio values, how have they served you in Hollywood?
You know, the best thing about people from the Midwest is that they may not like you, but you know. There's no fakeness in Ohio.
Okay.
You know, and the thing is, they don't have to like you to work with you. That's what's great about it. So I kind of, when you go to Ohio or go someplace in the Midwest, you know where you stand, which I think is sometimes different in LA. A lot of times in LA, someone will smile in your face and then you don't even feel that. You don't feel the knife in the back until you're bleeding. So so that's the difference, I would say.
Okay. What made you want to move from Ohio to move to Hollywood and pursue acting?
I actually wanted to pursue singing. I was signed to Motown Biv 10 when I was a teenager.
And you was in that video.
I was in that video.
Playing yourself.
Everybody know that video. I was managed by Michael Bivins when I was a kid. And,
Shout out to Michael Bivins.
Shout out to Michael Bivins.
Great guy.
I love him. He's like
a visionary.
Come on.
Yeah,
like
people don't really respect him.
People don't give him what he deserves.
I agree.
He really is. He is that dude.
He had the vision early.
He really did.
Yeah.
So I was signed to that, to East Coast Family and, thought that would be my career. But I joke about this all the time, but I'm really PG-13 and Prudy McPrude in life. And the music business had shifted into flip me up, throw me against the wall. And I was like, oh my God, so I was like, I can't do it. So when that shifted that way, and I always say it's before we had like an NDRE or anyone that was conscious. So I didn't see a lane for me in the R&B realm. So I just kind of moved to the behind the scenes for a while. I worked for Michael at Motown and then started working at different companies in LA, and then the acting bug kind of bit, and I was like, well, let me try this.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I'm a fan of your work, and you sing a lot.
I sing in everything.
You sing in everything.
Yeah.
And you're like you bring it. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
I do okay. Yeah. I gotta say, I don't think I've ever sung as myself in any show. Like
as a character.
I sing as how I think the character would sing.
Understood.
So I don't know that anyone's heard how I would sing yet on television.
So right now you are part of this. You're part of many universes.
Yeah.
But the universe right now is the Chuck Lorre universe.
Yes.
And
a little bit. I dipped a toe in.
A little pinky toe.
A little pinky toe.
Tell us about that character, because it's a specifically black character.
Yes. Yeah. She moved to Minnesota this year, so I don't know that I'll be on Mom this season, but I played Nora. I was Christie's new sponsor, and she was kind of no nonsense and like, this is what it is. And the beautiful thing about doing Mom is that they have people that are recovering as like coaches on set. So if you have any questions about why am I saying it this way? Because the way it was written, Nora was really tough in the beginning. And I was like, well, she's trying to help this woman. Why is she won't hug her? She won't. And some people said, no, sponsors, a lot of them don't do that. Like they're not very touchy feely and huggy duggy. They're more this is what it is. You're an addict. This is what it is. And so I learned that it was okay to be a little tougher as that character.
You just wrote a movie.
I did.
Always a Bridesmaid.
I did.
When is that coming out?
It actually aired on BT in September.
Okay.
And
This year.
And we're going to start moving into the streaming space. So we're reaching out to different streaming companies to see who wants to run it. But it's actually something I wrote 20 years ago when I was an office temp. And just kind of wrote it because, like I said, going back to the PG-13 thing, there weren't any romantic comedies for Black people that were PG-13.
Right.
And I kind of wanted us to be able to fall in love in a chaste way, the same way white folks get to do it. And so since I didn't see it, I wrote it. And it just happened to get made all these years later. It's
I want to check that. I haven't seen
It's really sweet. I can send you a link.
Okay, please. Afion is in it?
Afion is in it. Okay. Everyone that's in that film, most of them I called and said, can you come and just do a day? And most of them came and did it for scale.
That's amazing.
Afion was so dope. I just called him and said, man, I'm doing it. He said, where do I need to come? And he showed up and killed it.
Afion, we filmed an interview with him for this show. It hasn't come out yet.
He's a good guy.
He's one of my better friends in this business.
Yeah.
Me and him rap together. He's an incredible rapper.
Really? Do I know that about
He
him?
raps. He used to dance with Soul Train.
Yeah, and he's a great comedian.
And he's a
great
fantastic
actor,
comedian.
great man.
Great guy.
Yeah. He's the truth.
Now, Community is absolutely one of my favorite shows of all time.
Brother.
It is. I mean, I must have seen all seasons, 6 seasons of the movie.
Yeah.
Several times.
Really?
It's a show that I go back to because it's so layered.
Yeah.
So much to it. The ensemble cast. I feel like everyone in that ensemble cast over the years is a star in their own right. But when y'all got together, everybody wasn't on the level that they are now.
No.
Shout out to my homegirl Angela Nissel. She's a writer. She brought me into my first writer's room. I was a guest star on The Last OG, and I got to see a writer's room in action.
Yeah.
And me as a writer, that was very exciting to me.
Yeah.
Me as a writer, as someone who grew up raised by television, and just to see the behind the scenes and behind the curtain, like, oh, this is how the writers' room works.
Yeah.
Watching Community and how fast paced it is, and knowing a little bit about the mystique surrounding a Dan Harmon, that table. And how important the table was a character in the show.
It really was.
You had to break it up.
Yeah.
The table was absolutely a character. I feel like the table was like the table in a writer's room. And I feel like the show worked so well. There were so many scenes that worked with y'all just sitting at the table.
Just at that table.
Because it's a bunch of comedy writers who were just sitting at a table, and Dan Harmon and his crew found a way to bring that table to TV with the community college.
Wow. I like that.
Is that accurate?
I mean, I think it's accurate. I think in the same way that the writers were around their table, we as comedic actors were around that table. And I tell people all the time, and it's our 10th anniversary this year. We just did something with Vulture Fest to celebrate that it's been 10 years since Community debuted. But we spent time at that table trying to make each other laugh.
Okay.
So there's a lot of inside jokes. There's a lot of facial expressions and just really dumb stuff that we did, that it really was because we had so many long hours at the table. Let's fill the time with some foolishness.
Right.
So we always are surprised to see we were surprised to see an episode and realize that some dumb thing we did just for each other made it in.
Right.
So I feel like it was just people just trying stuff out, and it's such a special show for me for that reason. And everyone's gone on to do amazing things, and I'm honored to have been with them, with some of them. Some of them already, had made it, but it was nice to be with some of them as they just discovered who they were going to be.
Like, what was it like? So here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
I think one of the first times Donald Glover was on television was in the season 4 finale of 30 Rock, which is a show that's similar in some ways to Community.
He wrote on that show.
He was a writer on the show, and he wrote a character himself into the thing, and I was also on that episode.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was an episode called Kidney Now,
okay,
where Alan Alda was playing Alec Baldwin's father.
Yes,
he needed a kidney, and they brought all these musicians in, and I was one. I filled in for Adam for the Beastie Boys because he was sick at the time, right? And it was dope. It was super dope. But Donald Glover he's like, Tracy Morgan is talking about how anybody could be who they want to, and he's like, that's for even you, gay kid. And Donald Glover's like, who told? But at that point, I was doing Rock the Bells with Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Right. He was fully into the Childish Gambino thing. He hadn't developed as the Community hadn't happened really yet for him. What was it like seeing him at that stage of his career?
It's amazing. Donald taught me a lot about redeeming the time and being an effective use of time. He never wastes a moment. So when we would yell cut, when they would yell cut, Donald would go pick up his computer and start writing a song or start writing what would become Atlanta,
right?
You know, or write comedy bits for his comedy special. Like he literally always worked. He never slept. And we talked about this today about sleeping. Like Donald never sleeps. And I remember at the time thinking, well, this is not healthy. His baby's got to sleep. And he said, why? Like, I got stuff to do. And if I'm up, he's not, he's not trying to keep himself up, but while he is up, he uses the time.
Yeah.
And I've said this 1,000 times, but I'll say it again. He is the most extraordinarily talented person in every creative endeavor that I've ever met.
He's fantastic.
I've never met Prince. I never met Michael Jackson. So I always say that as a caveat, but Donald can dance, he can sing, he can crochet, he can bake, he can, I'm not kidding, he can crochet and bake. He can actually crochet and bake. He can do physical comedy, there's nothing creative that he can't do. And he does it and exhausts it and moves on.
I'm glad you mentioned Atlanta. So you you left the show to take care of your father.
I did.
And I imagine that was a very difficult decision.
Yeah, actually, no,
okay.
It wasn't. I've never been someone that's impressed with fame. Okay. I've never wanted it. I've never chased it. We all got to pay bills, so I do enjoy making a paycheck. So I was concerned about making a living, but I wasn't concerned about where I made the living. And I knew that the way the show was set up, it was not conducive to me taking care of my dad. And
that's right.
You know, I'm family first, so that was not a hard decision for me at all.
I think you're unique with that, though.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are in this business are chasing fame.
Yeah, I think it's vapor. I think fame is a trick. It's a trick. It's a trap.
It's fleeting.
It's fleeting, and it's not even real. It's not even that it's fleeting. It's not real. It is a mist that you can get caught in, and you can think matters, and it doesn't. I see people like doing all this stuff for the gram and securing the bag. All of this crap is vapor.
Yeah.
And it's the relationships you have with people. It's the good you do in this world. Those things are what matter. I don't care if 1 million people I don't know who I am. You know what I mean? It's nice. I mean, thank you, but that doesn't help me sleep at night if I'm not a decent person. Your soul is what matters. Your kindness level matters. Do you take care of people? Do you fight the good fight even when it doesn't benefit you? Those are the things that people should be famous for, not the jeans they wear and the songs they sing. That's
what
dumb.
you do when no one's looking.
Come on.
What you said was very important, because there's a difference between fame and infamy. And I think in this society, especially with the Instagram and stuff, people think, this is what I run into when you and me, we argue online sometimes.
We do.
Right?
We chop it up.
Oh gosh.
What people sometimes criticize me for.
Yeah.
And we can get into the online stuff later, but I wanted for what you said.
Yeah.
They say you're giving these people a platform.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
And my pushback to that is that what you're telling me is that you value fame too much. And as someone who's been famous for quite some time, let me tell you, it's not all it's cracked up to
really
be.
Not.
Me being a famous person doesn't make me a better person.
Come on.
So the idea that you're saying, well, you're giving this person fame, and shame that devil every time. I want every racist to be famous.
I agree.
So that when we see them coming, we know
Yep.
exactly what they look like, what they're wearing, what they smell like, what they're going to say.
I agree.
And people are run from that because they value fame so much. They see fame as a virtue.
Yeah.
They're like, well, why are you treating these people? You're making
Don't put
them
them on a
famous.
pedestal.
Right.
That's not always
And
a
they
good
also
thing.
tell you and me and other people not to speak up because it's like, you got to protect your brand. Come on now.
Right.
Like, first of all, my brand is rebuttal. Anybody that know me knows that. I remember Tank said we were on the set of a New Edition movie, and he just said to me, you are built for rebuttal. And I am. My whole life I've been built for rebuttal. And I'm going to fight every good fight.
That's right.
amazing.
I don't care what I lose. I've said all the time, I am a legal secretary by trade, and McDonald's is always hiring. So if speaking the truth and fighting for what's right means that I lose fans or lose a career, bye. It's just not that deep.
Whatever's for you is for you anyway. So you saying anything is not going to take away an opportunity that you were already gonna have. And then it's funny because we were just talking about another show, like in today's age, people like people being more authentic. So it's not like you don't have to be worried about your brand and speaking up because they want to know what you really think.
I never think about any of that, and honestly, to be fair, no employer I've ever had has ever said, Yvette. Like, I think people know what they're getting when they hire me, because what they also know is that I'm fair, I'm kind. For the most part, I'm not profane. I try not to. You don't see me on Twitter cussing people out. I don't do that. I will call you out, but I don't cuss people out.
Right. You let me do that.
Yeah, if you do it, I'll be like, get him.
She does a polite read.
Yeah, it's like I believe in a classy read, and also I have to be on the right side of history. I'm not going to stay quiet when when literally the world is on fire.
That's right.
When we're facing a darkness and evil, I am not going to hold my tongue because I want 5 more followers. That's dumb.
That is dumb.
The whole thing is we have these platforms to use them. Why do you think you have 1 million followers if it's not to share what you know about what's good with those people?
That's right. So now I say all that because Donald Glover also left the show before it ended.
He did.
And he left it to focus on Atlanta. I have a theory, and I'm going to float it here.
Do it.
Okay, my theory is that Donald Glover, if you listen to Childish Gambino music, a lot of it, when it deals with race, talks about people's ideas of what a black man should be. And people, he had a lot of white fans, and he made fun of himself in his music, like saying only white girls listen to it and this and that. And Community, as one of my favorite shows, I'll be honest, none of my black friends watch the show, right? So I would talk to my black friends in Brooklyn. They'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. And so I feel like Donald Glover, who's a guy who grew up in Georgia, my theory is that as good as he was doing on Community, he needed to do something that was black.
For his people.
Yeah, and I feel like and the blackest thing you could do is write a show called Atlanta.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more black than
This is
that.
the thing though about Donald. Donald is very black. I think that people they get what he wears and maybe that he's soft-spoken or whatever. They get it twisted.
Yeah.
He's very black.
Absolutely.
And I feel like he
had to go grab that for
he wanted to make Atlanta because I feel like he wanted to show the fullness of what we are. And he loves absurdity.
Yeah.
He loves weird things and he loves making people uncomfortable.
Right.
He's, that period he went through where he was wearing like the Hawaiian shorts and the white t-shirt everywhere. I think he loved that. I think he loved the people. What is he doing? And he was like, yeah, let him try to figure out what I'm doing. Not from a calculated space, but from a space of let me just live.
Changing the perception.
I'm gonna live in this season of time. And those that can ride, let's ride. If you can't ride, it's okay.
Right.
I think that's how he does that's how he feels about everything he does.
Right.
It's just so important to have Donald Glover's because as we keep saying, it shows that black is just not one thing. That it's so many different people. Black people love playing chess. Black people love science. Like it's not just one thing. And that's why we need these diverse shows. And making Atlanta, we have to tell our own story.
Right. We have to tell our own stories.
Now, the Community was not scared to deal with race and sex and class. And I feel like, and you could let me know if I'm correct in this, I feel like your character, Shirley Bennett, was sort of a send-up of a stereotype of what sassy black woman is.
I think she was a send-up of what a white man felt a sassy black woman was. And that's no dig against Dan Harmon. I mean, he can't write what we are because he's not a black woman.
There's a couple episodes where you dealt with that directly.
Oh yeah, 100%. But you notice they were later in the show when he knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? And again, not saying that he didn't have any black female friends, but I know that my friendship with him, I spoke up about a lot of things behind the scenes. If there was something that I felt like I'm a black woman. I'm actually a black Christian woman. So, and I was playing a woman just like me. So if you got a question about what we will do in any circumstance, you kind of got to come to me and ask me and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And I was aware that there weren't a lot of black females watching the show. So it's not like I was trying to be something for them because I knew most of them weren't watching. But if one of them popped in, I wanted to make sure that she knew it was a safe space to be. Right. In every role I take, I'm mindful of my blackness, my femaleness, my of a certain sizeness. Now I'm aware of a certain ageness. And I try to make sure that anyone that takes the ride in my shoes is not diminished because I need a paycheck.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So you can't always change what your character has to say. You don't control the writing, but you control the subtext of how you say it. There was a scene when Shirley gets pregnant and she doesn't know who the father is, right? I warred against that so much because you created a character that
between Ken Jeong and
Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like you create a character that loves the Lord and is basically policing everybody else's romantic interest, and you then decide that she's someone that just randomly sleeps with someone because there's a zombie apocalypse. If you don't watch Community, stuff like that happen. Yeah. And I went to him and I said, listen, if it's the last days and she's the woman that I think she is, she's not going to be fucking, she's going to be praying.
Right.
Forgive my F-bomb, but that's what I said at the time. And they refused to change it. They thought it was hilarious that she didn't know who her father was.
It set up the whole
It did. I got it. Listen, I'm not a comedy writer, so I get it. It was an arc. But there's a point where I was like, since they can't change the words, my subtext is going to be repentance. My subtext is going to be, oh my God, what have I done?
Right.
Because there would, if she was who I thought she was, there would be some shame in finding herself in that predicament.
Yeah.
So they didn't write it, but I played it.
Right. Okay. I get
You see
that.
what I mean?
I get
So, I do that a lot. I can't control what I have to say, but I control how I say it.
Wow.
Now, Community dealt often with multiverses.
Yeah.
Was it fun to play the evil Shirley?
Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun. I just did.
Drunk,
oh,
shooting stuff
God.
up.
Shirley was a drunk. She was she was horrible. But horrible like it in the Shirley world. Like she's not horrible in life.
The inverse.
The inverse of her was horrible. I just played a villain in Lady and the Tramp, and I've been getting like my first tweets and stuff from people like, oh my God, I hated you. And I'm like, I kind of like that you hated me.
I like that.
That's perfect.
I did my job
I kind
well.
of like that I
You
did my
drew up
job well
emotion.
enough. Yeah, because I'm a nice person. So if you can watch me in something and hate me, that means I really did some good acting.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, with the multiverses, Dan
Yes.
Harmon also went on to do Rick and Morty,
Rick and Morty.
which to me is very similar. It's like, to me, Rick and Morty is like Community with no limitations.
Yes.
Rick and Morty.
It's like, okay, I wanted to do this stuff, but these are actual
Yeah.
human beings.
Yeah, and I can't make that right.
I can't, so now, but there's an episode of Rick and Morty where they're watching TV, they're watching alien TV.
And you see the study room table.
They see the alien version of Community.
Yeah.
And I think was your voice in that?
Yes.
No, my voice has not been on Rick and Morty
Okay,
yet.
okay.
I just saw Dan Harmon and was like, what's up?
What's up?
Like,
Because you do voice
I
work.
do a lot of voice work.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
like the
I'm
voice pound puppies.
I'm actually better at voice work than on camera work.
Book
I'm like,
me.
bruh.
Yeah, you on Family Guy?
Bruh. Yeah. So I'm like, come on, can I? So he said that he's going to let me come play. So I hope that I get to do a voice. But no, that was not my voice on there.
But you do go to Comic-Con
I do every year.
because you're a fan.
I'm a nerd. Yes.
Tell us
Every
about
year.
Comic-Con for people for people who've
Comic-Con.
never been.
Comic-Con is like the greatest gathering of people who love things in the world, because that's all a nerd is someone that just really loves something a lot. You can be I could be nerdy about this glass of water.
That's right.
I could be nerdy about this microphone.
That's right.
And what I love about Comic-Con is everybody's welcome. There's no judgment at Comic-Con. You just let your freak flag fly. And every show or movie that is in the genre space, if it's sci-fi, if it's, dragons, whatever, it's all there, which is really great.
There's been a lot of stories about Chevy Chase.
Oh, have there?
And not just from Community.
No.
But from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And are there any experiences with Chevy Chase that you would like to share?
No.
Okay. I
None.
felt like that was a good question that I had to
there's
ask.
none.
But I've heard the
There's
stories.
none that I want to share.
Okay.
No.
So he was, well, let me say one more thing. He seems to have played that character very accurately.
Okay.
Okay. Now, everyone from Community, just about everyone, is a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Just about everyone,
And
yeah.
can you lay it out how, because you were in Endgame.
I was.
And so was Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong was in
And
Endgame.
Danny Pudi, was he?
He was in, I think, Winter Soldier.
Okay.
And then Jim Rash was in, I gotta check IMDb, but I know that, and Donald was in a Spider-Man. The Russo brothers, who are over the Avengers movies, were our executive producers on Community. I don't think a lot of people, I don't know if everybody knows that.
Okay.
So
That's the connection.
That's the connection. And so when they moved from Community to the Marvel Universe, they just thought it would be funny or sweet to have a little Community Easter egg in each each movie. So they would just randomly call. You never knew who it was going to be.
Right.
And then we all, honored our NDA, so we never even knew who it was until the movie came out. And it was my turn. And I got the call. I was working on a show called The Mayor, and I got a text from Joe Russo, and he was like, "What are you doing next Thursday and Friday?" And I was like, "Is this it?" Like, I was so like, "Oh my God!" So I
felt so proud when I saw you on that screen, because when I went to see Endgame, we were in the middle of a Twitter battle with a bunch of people, and I was back and forth with Yvette. We were going back and forth, and I went to see Avengers, and you popped up on the screen, and I was like, "That's what
That's what's up. That's what's up." I didn't even know that I was in Endgame because I shot 2 years ago. He shot in 2017, and I thought I was going to be in Infinity War,
right?
Because that's all my swag. I got a whole swag bag with like a beanie and whatever with Infinity War. And so when Infinity War came and went, and I wasn't in it, I was like, well, at least I had to
got
shot
cut.
it. It's nice. It happens, and I moved on. I was so shocked that I was in Endgame. I hadn't even gone to the premiere.
Oh wow!
I didn't even know. So
Right.
They didn't tell you?
No, because I think they just assumed that you shot it.
Well, you got paid. You did the work.
Paid.
They have it.
Like
They
it
put in the movie.
happens. Like it happens.
But you never
And it was
know
2
till
years
you-
before.
Yeah, so it was like time had passed. They're busy. They're editing a film. They're not checking in with me to make sure I know I'm on. And I went to the film with a bunch of my Blerd friends and popped
See,
up.
there's that word again.
Yeah, Blerd.
Let's talk about Blurs.
Black
because
nerd.
Yeah,
you do,
black
you
nerd.
do cosplay Melee,
I did.
right? And
May it rest in peace.
and yes,
Yeah, it was a
and
good
you,
show.
You are talking head on Talking Dead.
I am.
What draws you to sci-fi and horror and those genres?
You know, I'm not even really a big horror girl. Like I don't. Me loving Walking Dead is like a fluke. I just saw the trailer for it 10 years ago and was like, oh my God, I love this show.
I love Walking Dead too.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
Yeah.
And
I'm not caught up. I'm like season 8, 9.
Okay, you got a good ride ahead of you.
I tried.
You got a good ride ahead of you.
What are they up to?
I tried.
It's like 11, 12. What are they up to?
No, we're on 10.
10. So I'm up to like 8 or 9.
Yeah, you got a little ride ahead of you. So I'm not really a horror girl. I don't like blood and guts, and The Walking Dead goes really far. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe I was just supposed to be a part of it. Yeah, it's because it's not really. I tell people this. There was a show called Friday Night Lights that was on a few years ago, many years ago. People didn't watch it because they thought it was about football. It wasn't. It was about relationships and building a family and that kind of stuff. And Walking Dead is the same thing. It's not about zombies. Zombies are in it. Walkers are in it, but it's not about that.
As it goes on, when the first couple of seasons, the zombies they have to learn how to live with the zombies. They have to learn how to navigate.
Right.
But a season's down, by the time you get to 8, 9, they done figured out they just killing the zombies like boop, boop.
Right.
And now we're fighting each other.
The people are the problem. Because the thing about The Walking Dead that I think is deep, and it actually dovetails nicely with the political climate we're in, everybody thinks they're going to be the hero. Most people are not the hero.
That's right.
You know, most people are selfish and out for themselves, and that makes the heroes really stand out. You know, and that's what you find in The Walking Dead. People do horrible things in The Walking Dead, and you're like, you're supposed to be the good guy.
Right.
I was just wondering because, okay, you're a Black woman, obviously, and you're a working actor. Like you keep a job. How do you? And I know you did say that you fight for everything, but I know there's certain things that you have to like turn a cheek on. So how, as a Black woman in this industry, like how do you decide what you're going to fight for and put your foot down and what you're going to be like, all right, I'll let you go.
I will always fight for other people.
No matter what.
No matter what. I don't care. I very rarely fight for myself. The only thing that will make me rise up for me is if you come from my character. I don't care if you think I'm cute, if you call me fat, if you think I'm a good actor, I could care less. But if you say I'm not a decent person, if you say that I'm out for self or say something disparaging about the person I know I am, then I will rise up. Because our good name is all we have.
Right.
And I am a decent person, so I don't play that game. But the other stuff I don't care because, again, it's vapor. You know what I mean? And I want to be on sets where it's fun and we have a good time. And you're not going to have that if you're walking in like a diva and demanding things. You know what I mean? I need some cold water and a place to sit. If I have that, I'm good. There's really nothing else for me worth fighting for. Now, if you come for one of them PAs or somebody in the crew or you acting up, and somebody's in jeopardy, then I'm
gonna save them.
Oh, man, I will fight for other people all day long.
Especially people that aren't strong enough to fight for themselves.
Yeah, because they can't. Like there's a hierarchy in this business where, you know, once you get to a certain position, you can speak up. Like I'm speaking up now about the fact that there's not enough hair people and makeup people in the union that can do our hair and faces. And I'm not afraid to speak about it because I can.
Yeah.
They're not going to fire me over it. But a young chick coming in talking about, can I get somebody to know how to do my natural hair? She might not be back the next day.
Yeah.
So I have to fight for her. And I will.
And how do you, what things do you do to fight for that? Like when you're on your sets, do you like demand a certain amount of Black makeup artists or Black hairstylists?
I'm fighting that fight right now. And I always want to make it clear. I'm a part of the Disney Plus family. Disney Plus is amazing. This is not a fight with Disney Plus. This has been a fight with the union, the hair and makeup union. And I'm not even going to throw them under the bus because I think they just don't know.
Yeah.
And so it is my job because I know I'm 20 years into this industry. I've been in I don't know how many hair and makeup trailers. I know what this is. And all I've been saying is when a person of color or a marginalized person says, I need something, just listen.
Right. Yeah.
This is not hard.
It's hard for people though. They're socialized to not listen.
No, you gotta.
Well, because they don't want to feel like they're being racist. Like a lot of white people, they feel so like scared to be dubbed racist that if you call them out on set and say, hey, we need a Black hairstyle, they're just going to get rid of you because they don't want you later on down the line saying, oh, well, this was a racist set. Instead of just hiring a Black hairstylist.
I've never asked for a Black hair or makeup person. I've asked for somebody that knows how to do Black hair and makeup.
Well, they mostly don't.
There's a difference.
Yeah, that is true.
There are white people that know how to do Black hair and makeup. There are Latin people that know how to do Black hair and makeup. I've asked for the person to be proficient in doing our faces and hair. I don't care if they're green.
Yeah.
Just make sure they know how to handle this hair without heat.
Yes.
Right.
And beat this face with look contour.
Hello.
That's all. And have my colors. That's it.
And I'm not pale.
Yeah. So it's not even a racist request. It's literally, I'm not calling anybody racist. Just make sure the person that's there can handle the people that walk into the door. That's it. So I know it's a righteous fight, so I'm gonna keep fighting it.
Thank you.
You use your social media very often to fight for the causes that are closest to your heart.
I do.
And you make that a huge part of your life more than some other entertainers. We had Don Cheadle on, and he talked about and his
I love Don Cheadle.
Me too. We all love Don Cheadle.
He's amazing.
In his Twitter bio,
His wife's amazing too.
His wife is amazing. In his Twitter bio, it says single issue Democratic voter. Now, you and I and Don,
Yes.
and a lot of people who watch this show agree that it's a priority to get Donald Trump out of office.
100%.
Not everybody agrees with that. And I want to speak specifically to people in the black community who feel like because of how politics is in this country, electoral politics and money in politics, that they feel like, one, he's going to win. They feel like, two, the Democrats have taken our votes for granted. And they feel like, three, no matter who's president, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, what's going to happen on the streets in the hood, it doesn't change. Convince someone who doesn't want to vote, or someone who thinks the Democrats and the Republicans are exactly the same, that Donald Trump is an existential threat that is bigger than your personal feelings about that are backed with historical data about how we've been taken advantage of by these political parties. Okay,
there's a couple of schools of thought. The first is that black people are always going to be all right because we know how to survive. Now that is very true. But again, this is not just about our ability to survive no matter what. Yeah, this is not even just about us. This is about babies in cages. This is about women's vaginas being grabbed. This is a man who has placed judges on the bench that feel the way he feels. Now, if you're a black person,
that's the whole game, right?
That's the whole game they're playing. If you are a black person that thinks that the judicial system is fair, then by all means, don't vote. Just don't vote. If you think that it's totally an even playing field for every black person that ends up in front of a judge, stay home. But I think every black person on this planet, and especially in this country, knows that it's not an even playing field for us. So if you just vote so that we can get people like him out so you can have a fair shake when you get in front of a judge, that's enough reason to do it.
Right.
Exactly.
Also, it's so hard for me because I've voted every election since I was 18. I understand what this is. You cannot change things by taking your ball and going home. You don't have to like the Democrats. You just have to like them better than what's in right now. And if you really care, which I doubt they do, but if you really care, run.
Yeah.
Run.
If you really care.
And what were you saying about
run? You do not need a degree to run for any
Hasn't
office.
That been proven? We got an idiot in the Oval Office right now.
You can be a councilman, a congressman, or
be an alderman, be the local dog catcher. Run for something.
The local dog catcher.
If you think your city is trash, run.
Yeah.
Run. If you got it figured out, if you know what black people need, run. And if you can't run, vote.
Yeah. Right.
Research the people that are available and pick the person that you feel speaks to your spirit. My thing is this, every vote I've ever cast, it begins with, is this a decent human being that cares about people beyond the people that look like them? It starts there. Right. Because if you get a decent person, a decent smart person in there, they're going to bring other decent smart people with them.
Yeah.
And together, those decent smart people, they're going to mess up sometimes, but the majority of the decisions they make are going to be for the greater good. When you get someone who's selfish, that only cares about himself and money in there, who's corrupt as hell, you get what we've been dealing with for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you do not have to like who the Democratic candidate is. You don't. Not this year.
No.
Not this year.
Just get him out.
Get that dude out, and then let's start digging in. We can talk about everything that needs to be fixed after we get that dude out.
Yeah, I'm one of those people you're talking to because I've been a public figure for some time, and I've made statements in the past where I've said I don't vote. I've never ever tried to hold sway over anybody else. I'm just saying, for me personally, for a lot of reasons that we could do a whole show about, why I felt disenfranchised and I felt like voting wasn't a viable option for me. I've changed and I've shifted in that thinking as I got older. I learned more. I'm a student of Malcolm X. I understand Malcolm's ballad or the bullet better now as a grown man than I did as a child. I like how Malcolm worked together with Adam Clayton Powell and other people that he didn't quite gel with politically or philosophically, but he understood that the vote could be used as a tool to help the community. But I do understand, why people don't vote, which is why when I have somebody that I'm in conversation with that is passionate about voting, I want to present that voice because I'm one of those people who was like,
let me ask you this. Do you think that the man in the Oval Office is the reason there are babies in cages at the border right now?
To be honest with you, here's my thing. I'm a fan.
No, don't get me wrong. I know there's been corruption for years.
Right,
I'm talking about that particular thing right now. The fact that the way they're treating immigrants at the border. Do you think that man has something to do with that?
I'll say this. I think Donald Trump is a symptom of there's a root problem that's way deeper than Trump.
Oh man, come on, it's America.
And we've been set up, all the presidents, including Obama.
Yeah.
All the presidents set him up for him to be able to do that.
Okay. I'll allow that.
But what I think the difference is that Donald Trump is the first president that we've seen in our lifetime that has acted with the Stephen Miller emails that just came out.
He relishes.
Yeah, he's actively
harming people.
Right, pursuing actively in our faces,
It's
unapologetically, a white supremacist agenda.
This is what my point is. If that is the case, if you understand that shift is different, the fact that it is white supremacy in your face, that is enough to vote. If not for you, can you vote for the people that he's currently hurting?
That's a tough thing to ask people to do, to not think about themselves.
Why
for a
is it
second.
though? It's the easiest. It's the easiest thing in the world to me to care about other people.
Right.
It's not just
Compassion is the
about me.
goal.
100%. I've said this all the time. I say it online. If you want to know who to follow voting, find a principled black woman.
Yeah.
That's right.
Black women will always vote for the great principled black women.
Principled.
Will always vote for the greater good. That 94% will never let you down.
Ever. And it's crazy because, like what you say about Trump and the people, they have had these concentration camps or whatever for immigrants.
They are concentration camps.
Yeah, they're concentrated pretty much. But the thing is that I feel like what makes it worse with Trump in office is because his blatant hate for immigrants. It's not gonna encourage the workers that work at these camps to treat people nicely, because they're like, oh, my president thinks you're trash, so I can think you're trash too.
Exactly.
If you have a president that cares, that's trying to change things, no, things are not going to change all of a sudden, because presidents can't control that much. But they might be a little bit nicer to the people. They might give them a bed. They might give them a change of clothes. Whereas Trump is like encouraging to treat them like dogs. That's what's crazy.
Now, speaking of being anti-immigrant and speaking of principled black women, you share a name with a black woman, Yvette Carnell.
Can we get that
who is not, in my opinion, and
soul.
I could tell from how her response, we don't think that this is a principled woman. Now, this is kind of how we met. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but I was attacked online and harassed by ADOS, which was started by this woman, and you were as well. How did it happen to you? Because how it happened to me is well documented. I wrote a Medium piece about it. I've been on Vlad TV. I've been talking about it a lot.
I don't even remember how they came for me. I remember seeing the hashtag, and I understand why people get pulled in.
Yeah,
because
it's very seductive.
They almost pulled me in.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of people because it looks like that it's the right thing to do. It looks like
reparations.
Yeah, who can say no to reparations? But I realized that one, they're not for reparations. They're just using that as a smokescreen. And second, you can't be for me if you're against other marginalized people.
Right. And you can't say that you have a black agenda if your black agenda only includes black people that are born here in America.
Exactly. Because the bottom line is
you're missing most black people.
But the bottom line is find them. How? We are all so mixed up with everything.
That whole lineage argument.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. So as soon as you find an immigrant and I'm kicked out because I got some immigrant somewhere down in the
crazy.
We all do. That's the whole point. We don't know where we came from. We don't know what we're mixed with, but it doesn't even matter. If you are a marginalized person, we should be fighting together.
That's right.
I don't understand. And then the whole point of it, like I've been trying to tell people, it is not about uplifting black people. It is really about keeping black people from voting. It is literally MAGA with a black face. Right. It's black voter disenfranchisement. They are building division between us first, and then they're telling us, well, I mean, what's the point of even voting? There's no point.
Yeah.
And if you're going to vote, then you might as well vote for Trump because he's the same as any Democrat, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Or if you go and vote, don't vote for president. Why is it so important for us not to vote for president? They're telling people now to vote down the ballot, but don't vote president.
That's right.
You got to see what it is.
That's very clear to me.
It's very clear.
Yeah, that's a clear agenda.
And we don't have to separate ourselves from other people of color to fight the good fight for black people. And I'm down for my people. Anybody that know me know I love me some black folk.
That's right.
So it's not even
you
about
a black
that.
American woman born in Ohio,
so black.
the middle of it all.
I am the blackest of the black.
And it's crazy because, like I said, I was at the Revolt Summit and I was talking to this lady and I was talking to her about parking in my street, and then she gave me a card and she was like so excited, like, oh, come to this meeting, and then on her card it said ADOS, and I was like, no, because you're not about to. Yes, I didn't want want to say your name because I felt like she might have tried to stab me or something.
They don't like me.
But it's like they try and trick you, and we shouldn't be a part of anything that's trying to divide our people.
And the thing is, the sad thing about it is I think a lot of people that are standing for them don't really know what it even is. That's why right. I stopped saying Adios is trash, and I say Adios is MAGA. Right. Like, that's really what it is. Now, it's trashy too. It's trash too. But it's really MAGA with a black face.
That's right.
And once you can let them understand, because they know what a maggot is. They know what those people are. They know what those people believe in. They know that they're anti-immigrant and they're anti-progress, all of that.
Yeah.
But somehow they don't see it because it's our faces.
Right.
And the thing is, they're selling T-shirts and experiences
right.
and that hashtag.
It's trademarked.
It's trademarked
to sell T-shirts.
BS.
And when you read up the LLC and the trademark, it says trademark for T-shirts. That's what it says.
It is not a movement for us. There is a way for us to fight for everything we need without excluding
anybody,
people of color, black people,
That's
immigrants.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Now, when you mentioned progressive, it's like people they use reparations and they use progressiveness as a bait and switch.
Right.
When you get into their platform, when you go on their website, which they'll tell you go on the website, it says we want to make sure that black immigrants don't get the same civil rights protections as native-born black Americans, right?
If you're black, you deal with it regardless.
The woman, Yvette Carnell, who started this organization, she's a board member of PFIR, which is Progressives for Immigration Reform.
Yep.
Now, if you know anything about immigration reform, you know ain't no progressives out there fighting for it.
That's right.
Right? The idea that our immigration policies are so flawed that we need to immediately reform them right now is not something that progressives are fighting for, right? So this is a white nationalist organization, or alt-right organization, right? And so you earlier today put out a tweet saying that you think that Fox News is going to support them. Where did you get that from?
I can't say where I got it from.
Okay.
But
it's the secret information.
So many secrets today.
It's somebody in the know.
Okay.
And just pay attention to who they start promoting. And you got to ask yourself, any black person that claims to be for black people that is going on Fox News, come on.
Nah. Are you over any programs to where that people can join to help fight the cause, or?
I'm actually not. My fight right now, like, I'm a part of organizations. I'm a part of the fight, but I don't have my own umbrella.
Okay.
My Twitter feed is the only way I'm fighting this mess, because I just feel like it's so big and pervasive. And I don't want to be someone that says, send me $10 every month and I'm gonna do a newsletter and I'm gonna tell you about what you can come to Twitter and find out what it is.
But it works because Rodney Reed, his execution was stayed because of social media.
Yeah, I think that social media is everywhere, and I think that we are supposed to use the platform that we have. I am not I'm not an organizer.
Okay.
My organizing is, hey, y'all, this is what it is. And I'm a researcher. I'm going to do all the research for you, and I'm going to give you everything you need to figure out what you need to do. But as far as come to this meeting tomorrow, I'm taking care of my daddy. I ain't got time to do that.
You do your part.
I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do right on Twitter, and I'm going to send money to the people that are doing it, and I'm going to go to the meeting.
Right. Yeah.
I just can't house it at my house.
Yeah. Well, everybody has a part.
Everybody and that's the thing too. Everybody has to know when a flower grows, somebody plants it, somebody waters it, somebody fertilizes, somebody clips it, somebody tends to it. You got to know what your role is. I know where I'm most effectively used, and it's in rebuttal.
Yeah. It's
in pushing out content. It's in letting people know what is really going on. I got time because I'm an actor. I got time to sit and watch the news and read books and to go, y'all need to read this book because this is breaking it down. You need to go here. You need to follow this person. I'm the person that kind of goes, here, this is where you go. And then once you get there, y'all figure out what's next. And then let me know what you need from me at the next stage. And I'll pop in and use my gifts in that stage. But I know where my gifts are best used, and I'm not an organizer.
One of the most exciting things for me about you is your ability to be I read your resume earlier, we've really grown up watching you, even if we didn't know that we did. Yeah. You're a working actress. You're working from the first popping up and doing extra work and popping up on shows.
Hey, shout out background.
Shout out to background.
Start like that, but now you win Avengers Endgame. Yeah. You've done it all. But you're still you. You really own who you are. And
that's Cleveland.
That's Cleveland, right?
Cleveland, man.
Those are Midwest values, those Ohio values I was talking about. Can you give some advice for someone who is trying to break in the business, trying to, a lot of people come from all over the country and move here to Los Angeles. and they try to break in this business, but you seem to have developed a blueprint. Do you have a blueprint that you can share?
I don't, because I'm not really, I have things I can share, but I don't have a blueprint because I'm not really an ambitious person. I didn't come here with like, I'm going to. I came here with like $500 in a dream, man. I don't know.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, to this day, I don't even know how I'm even here sitting here talking to you. To this day, I don't know how this happened. But God. The best advice I can give anyone is to live below your means.
Okay.
That goes not even just actors, just period. Live below your means. I always say if you are a guest star, live as a co-star. If you're a co-star, live like a background person. If you're a series regular, live like a guest star. Do not buy anything that person would not buy. Do not go anywhere that person would not go. And materialistic crap is vapor. Now, I'm not saying you can't celebrate yourself. I got a nice bag sitting over there. That's something every time I get a new job.
Shout out to
my bag. But every time I get a new job, I will give myself one treat. One. So if that show goes 5 years, one bag for that 5-year show. And I'll go all out for that one thing, but I'm not balling out of control. I shop at Target and Macy's. These is my places I go to. So live below your means. Don't fall into the party scene. The party scene is a trap. They will tell you that your opportunities are at the club. They're not the club.
Got you.
That's good advice.
It's not.
Because that's the first place people go.
First place people go. They go, so-and-so having a party. I got to go to so-and-so's party. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Do the work.
Do the work. First of all, if you're working, you can't go to the party because you got an early call in the morning. When they're at the party and they see you at every party, they know you ain't working. Everybody wants to work with people who are already working. So you can't be everywhere. You can't be at the opening of an envelope. Be decent and kind to people.
Can't be at the opening of an envelope.
You can't. Of an envelope, baby.
Slip that one in there.
Just saying. And this business has a very long memory. So what you say and do and who you say and do it to will live with you for the life of your career. So don't think you can be slick and be shady to people. Don't think you can be slick and treat people bad, because the person that you crap on today will be the person that could hire you tomorrow.
I say that all the time.
And they will remember you. So it's not like be decent because you're trying to come up. Be decent because you should be decent.
Just cause.
Just be nice to people. I do not think kindness is hard. I don't think it's hard.
That's a jewel. That's a gem. Kindness, compassion, discipline.
Get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yvette Nicole Brown.
Awesome.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, guys.